Hello. Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody is doing well. We are back. We are back. We are back with another amazing topic. I hope you guys have been enjoying these topics. It's me and Miss Lorraine today. The topic, the cost to leave America. Woo! What was the cost to move? What did it cost you spiritually and mentally to move? Okay, we're going to
Mhm.
introduce our guest, Mr. Lorraine. Here we go. You're going to get the
Yeah.
floor and just introduce yourself, your whole kit
Yes.
and caboodle. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. My name's Lorraine, and my ministry is Graceful Guidance Ministries.com, all lowercase and one word. What I do with this ministry is I help parents with special needs children. That could be from helping them navigate the legal system in the States to prayer and deliverance. Right now, what Graceful Guidance is doing here in Mauritius is I am working at not working, volunteering, but doing ministry work. I just started working with the ladies there that come there to get assistance as they are transitioning and learning independent skills. Beautiful, beautiful garden there where they uh, plant their own food and get some skills to be independent in society. And in addition to that, there's a literacy program for the children that help them to speak English better. So that's just getting started. So that'll be interesting to see what the father does with that. I also have a YouTube channel called Graceful Guidance, and you can find me there. And also Facebook, Graceful Guidance, and Journey Unto You podcast. And that's also, if you want to listen to the podcast, which is geared to special needs parents and caregivers. And it's not just limited to just autism, it's all kinds of special needs where I talk very candidly. You can find that at Journey Unto You on YouTube. And there you'll see the podcasts.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for that, Miss Lorraine.
Yes.
Um, Delu Darion, welcome. Also, KIRC3D. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's my little buddy there. I appreciate you guys for coming on. Like and share as you come in. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. Uh,
Yes.
so I am Ram in the Bush, and the email is raminabush@gmail.com. That's REALM in the bush at gmail.com. And what we do, we kind of do a little consultant. If you have questions, how to move, apartments, just any questions that you have, we are here to answer those questions. Now I'm getting better at visas, passports, how that really works. I'm getting better at that. I tell you, a little experience. So all of this stuff that we talk about transportation, we talk about housing, we talk about what you'll need when you transition here, come here to live. We talk about plane tickets. We talk about everything. So if you are interested in moving to Mauritius, Africa, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to help you out with that. Okay. All you have to do is contact me on my email. I think my email box has been cleared out because I had like 1,001 emails in that realm in the bush. So I'm like, I hope it's cleaned out enough so I can answer my emails. I mean, I have so many emails. I don't even go to email every day. That's just not my gift. I am just not that clerical person. That's just not Kathy. I like to pass that on to other people, pay them to do that, and I can be free enough to do other stuff. Okay. Let me see. What's the topic? The topic is the cost to leave America. What did it cost you? What did it cost you, Miss Lorraine? Would you do it again? What are your thoughts on that? What did it cost you
Oh,
to leave? Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Those are deep, loaded questions.
we got time.
So,
We got an hour.
yeah. As far as doing it again, if the Lord called me to do it again, I would obey Him. It's always about obedience. I do not know what the Father is doing with this move. Some, I think, have more clear visions and kind of know what they might do in the meantime. For me, myself, um, the Father's still showing me, and yet at the same time, He's kind of bringing pieces together as as I'm meeting more others who have been called to transition here, they're in the same place, just, I don't know why Mauritius, but yet I do know why, but yet I don't know why. And, just not having all the answers. Mauritius specifically, I only if the Father asked me to. It's more about obedience. I told him a long time ago I would go where he told me to go, kind of like Isaiah. I will go where you tell me to go and speak what you tell me to speak, and that has not changed for me, even if it goes against what other people are doing, and that can be really hard. And the cost has been in layers. One of the most recent costs is, and I'm not completely sure where this is going yet, but walking away from a certification that will expire. And that is when you worked hard for a license or a certification in a certain field, you don't really want to let that go.
Right.
And that is, I had the realization of that the other day, and I'm not totally certain what the Father's doing with that just yet, but just having that realization that how hard I worked. But anything I have, no matter what it is, a certification, even my children, they're not really mine. It's not really mine. It's something that the Father has given me for a time, just like our children. We're called to steward over them until they become old enough of age to make their own choices. And same with, any type of degree that you earn in college or a license or a training. It's not really ours. It's something that the Lord has us do maybe for a time, that he will apologize for that. That when we lay our lives down for the Father completely on the altar, and we are in covenant with him, everything we own and have and think about and our desires are lined up with him. It is a lot. It really is the mirror image of a marriage. And so for me, whatever he wants to do. So he never promised me that I would keep that certification forever. That was an assignment. And so until the next assignment, he shifts and moves us. But still, there's that human side of us that says, yikes, I'm really letting that go. Or is he calling me to let it go? And having the realization, the cost is, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. For some of us, as I'm getting to know some of the other expats and Americans who've moved here, it is some of us, it's cost everything. And that is going to look different in all of our lives. Most of us, I'm going to say probably, well, you know what? So far, whom I've met, everyone has sold everything.
Yes.
And
Left it all.
I have not heard anybody yet say, well, I regret selling my car, or I regret selling all my things. For me, during that time, I didn't know what to expect when I got here. But as I was home and selling things and putting things on Marketplace and, turning my car in and all the things, it actually felt really good. Because, America is so expensive. And, we're sold false ownership of things when really we don't own anything. We're
Never.
paying for it. It's really just an inversion of slavery.
Yeah.
And so for me, even, I grew up doing music. And so I was a huge music connoisseur. I had a collection of collectibles that I got rid of. And I think I kind of mentioned that. But as I let go of all this music and records, I felt good. I just went, you know what? This was something I did many moons ago, and it's time to close the door. This is a new thing that the Father, I think, understanding that, I think when we are understanding the cost. It's okay to pay the cost if you understand the times and the season that we are in. And at the end of the day, Jesus he gave the biggest cost. So I can certainly sell things and move across seas and let go of a certification for him, if this will align with what he wants and what he wants to do, and glorify him and helping other people. Because, I was talking with another brother and sister in Christ and understanding that some of us are being called to a round table with him being the center, with the Father being the center of that round table with all of our gifts. And we're in a very precedent time. And so when you understand that, yes, we are paying costs, and yes, we understand, but those costs do not go unnoticed. And our obedience, Father is seeing our obedience as we lay things down. And for me, it's been willingly. It hasn't been easy. It has not. It hasn't. I know that we've had this discussion before. A lot of us walked away from children who are adults and even grandchildren. We've walked away from people that have been with us our whole lives, and we have special memories with, and we have foundations with. But we won't be we're not the first people to do this. This is not an unknown thing. It's not abnormal when we read the Word of God. He's asked Abraham to do it more than once. He asked Lot. He asked Ruth and Naomi. He asked Mary and Joseph and Jesus when he was little to go into territories. And in fact, he asked them to hide in plain sight. This isn't a new thing. When we become his disciples, we maneuver. Jesus didn't own any homes. Paul didn't own any homes. Peter and them didn't own any homes. They moved about. Priscilla and Aquila, they gave themselves, they had a trade that they did on the side, but they ultimately, the goal was the gospel and obedience. So when we're talking about costs, what lens are we looking through? If it's earthly things, oh man, in America, we're so conditioned. We're so mind controlled about our things. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, but we're so conditioned about tradition. And let me give you a small example. So I've thought about, like, in my family, a lot of things have been passed down, like cookbooks that my great grandma had, and different things, jewelry, even, just all kinds of things that we used to be a thing, in our country, to pass down heirlooms or pass down things that were just beautiful, just really enduring. Like, we have things from back in the 18 and 1700s in our family, but at the end of the day, what am I going to really do with it? We're in a time now where that's just not, we just don't pass down stuff like, no, not at all.
What is that? Why do I need that? What is
yes,
what is this? Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. We have a table that's been in our family. It was my great grandma's, and my oldest daughter has it right now. And I had it in she has a 3-bedroom, and I had it in one of her bedrooms packed, and just it's solid wood with no scratches on it whatsoever. And she says to me, she calls me and she said, "Mom, can I use the table? Is it okay? I don't want to have to go buy a table, but I know how you feel about grandma's stuff." And I said, "Well, let me
emotionally
process that." And I realized, yes. I was like, do I really want anybody touching it? But then I thought, that's so silly. It took me a whole whopping, maybe a few hours to really get over myself. And I called her back and I said, you know what? Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yes, enjoy it. she said, I'll be really careful. I know I'm supposed to use coasters and all the things, because it's real wood. And so I was like, you know what? Just enjoy it, you know?
You don't want to save that and then termites get it later.
Yeah.
You know how
Yes.
you cherish something and then you look at it and over time, you think, man, I should have used that thing because now it looks, because anything not used, it just looks, it just, when you use it, it stays alive, right? But when you don't use it, you put it
Yes.
in water, it looks, it starts losing color and it just gets unhappy and it just, the little leg get a little
Yes.
wobbly and you may as well
Yes.
use it while you
Yes.
can, honey. Because who knows,
Yes.
enjoy the table chat.
Absolutely.
You'll never be back to
Yes.
get that table. Somebody got to use
Yes.
it.
It's just one of those things that, and the point I was even trying to make is how conditioned we are in the States with tradition and passing things down. And it really
Yeah,
wasn't the point of the table. It was just to give an example of, our thought process in America and
yeah,
how comfortable we are as a people. I mean, we know, and I'm preaching to the choir, America is so extra and we're so special and
yeah.
we're an island within ourselves. We are just super extra. However, we are, there are things about our country that we're comfortable. We're used to our comforts. We're used to variety. We're used to how the old Burger King slogan, your way, right away, And so that makes it difficult to make transitions like this, even if you want it. Even when God prepares us, we're still not prepared for letting go of those comforts, like
Mhm.
air fryers. And I think you and I joked about uh, a thing that I use that blew. When I got here, it blew in the plugs, and I carried it all this way, and it blew when I plugged it in. And I still haven't
Mhm.
replaced that electrical item. I don't want to say what it is because people will be like, "Oh gosh." So I'm just going to hush with that particular item. But anyway, yes, I brought that with me, um, and still have not replaced it. But it's okay. It's
Somebody
okay.
else said they did that too. I think it was
Yes.
Dewana. She said
Yeah.
she bought and it's a brand new, right? Brand new. And I'm so
An
glad I
air
didn't bring that
fryer.
stuff with me.
An air
Yes.
fryer.
Yes,
Yes,
and
she
she said
did.
she plugged that thing in and it just went. And I'm like, well, I'm glad I didn't bring any of that. I bought it when I got here, but I'm glad I didn't, bring any of that stuff. I
Yeah.
was like, I ain't bringing that stuff. I'll
It's
get it over
okay.
there.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and you can get air fryers here. It's
yeah,
just the whole point of how we think as
yeah.
Americans.
Yeah, they've taught us
Um,
very well. They've taught us very, very well. They condition us. I mean, we don't even know we've been conditioned until we see things here and we go revert back. And I try not to do that now. I try not to think, well, man, America had blah, blah, blah. No, I left for a reason. I have to free my mind to get to move forward where I am and not be so America minded. I have to get the healing
yes.
here
Yeah.
because I'm so tired of, I'm not living there anymore. So I'm transitioning. I'm trying to think new. I'm trying to move like a Mauritian. Well, I don't all of their Mauritian ways. I'm just saying the work ethics. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that, but I'm just saying
I know what you mean though.
I
Yes.
want the positive parts of Mauritian. I want to relax. I want to, but not too much because you're really relaxed. They are really relaxed
Yes.
here, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
They
But they
are.
move
They
different. They
are.
move so different. And I want that. I'm like, I'm retired, and my daughter calls and said, Mommy, what are you doing today? Nothing if I don't want to. I'm just saying, right? But I left America for a reason. I didn't want to bring it here. So it's
Yeah.
me right now taking my time to recondition myself, recondition my thinking, um, to be free. I don't have to rush around
Yeah.
doing anything. If I get it done
Yes.
today, I get it done today. If I don't, I don't. The cost for
Yes.
me was family. I have children, I have
Yes.
grandchildren that left behind. And yeah, my grandbaby was 15 months, and then I have one
Yes.
that she's 17 now, getting ready to graduate from high school. And I'm like, man, do I want to take a chance to go back, or am I going to be on video or what we going to do with that? But I don't know. It's up in the air. I'm waiting to see what's going on because I really moved for a reason and I don't want to take a chance going back for anything. I don't. When I left, I
Yeah.
didn't have a mind to go back. And I know I do have family still there. So that'll be something that I consider later. But right now, I'm so busy trying to retrain my thinking. And that's why I don't really want to think about a lot of stuff that's happening in America because I moved from that.
Yeah.
That's trauma
Yeah.
for me. That's anxiety. And there's some stuff going on right now that, I heard about and I'm like in the roof about it right now. But I'm like, that's why I moved. That's why I left.
Yeah.
Save my mental. One person in chat said, I thought you was gonna talk about Nolan. Well, you know what? So many people are talking about that. I don't want to talk about that. I moved from that so that I don't have to talk about that here. This show is pretty much talking about the move, talking about transition, talking about the mindset of what all is taking for us to actually move, transitioning. This is a big deal. And I don't think people really understand how big of a deal it is to relocate to somewhere totally new. And you got America with you, in your heart, in your head, in your mind. That's a big deal to make this transition mentally, spiritually. It's a big deal. And I don't think people really understand it about the aspect of really moving. What does it cost? It costs a lot for me. I gave away everything, home, car. My granddaughter, she's glad because she got my car, so she's able to drive this year. But I, promised her that anyway. But it cost me a lot, but it wasn't all bad.
No.
I'm debt free now. I don't have bills. I'm just saying. So it's not all bad, debt free. It's great to be debt free. Only have rent, phone, I don't have all those big bills that I had in America. I'm free.
Yes.
I'm financially free now. I don't have any debt. And that's a good thing to be able to breathe because, you pay your, to pay the basic electric, phone bill. That's come on now, and rent, of course, but nothing like in America. We're not talking about thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay. Houses, $1,500 and, $2,000. Heck no, I didn't come here to pay that. I just didn't. And some people do. If that's your head, that's your thing, but it wasn't mine. And I knew that. But spiritually, this is my time right now to heal, from America, some damages that was done in America to my psyche and my emotionals, so now this is my time to heal from America. Okay. And I think next week we're going to talk about, the next week, I guess we're going to kind of talk a little bit about America, making this transition from America to Mauritius, the difference. We're going to talk about that because that's a big deal for me. That's a real big deal because it's so different. And I don't want to get caught up in, oh my God, I did this in America. Oh my God, they did. If I'm gonna come here and do that, I need to go back. If I'm missing America like that, if everything is about America, no, it's not for me. It's not. I don't want to think because that to me keeps me stuck. That keeps me, filled with anxiety. And, I moved for a reason. I don't want to compare Mauritius to America. I don't, because it's two different places, totally two different places. So I have to be very careful for me, even making this transition, not to be trying to compare. Because this is totally different. I don't want to compare. I just look at it and and I'm like, well, man, okay. And then sometimes shake it off. This is not America. That's, you left that. If that's what you wanted, you should have stayed back there with it. And I talk to myself like that because I don't want to, it's totally, there's no comparison, to America and Mauritius. It's so much peace for me. Peace is why I moved here. I want the peace. I want the, I don't want to see the racism in my face. I don't want to see, the gunshots. I don't want to see the school shootings. I don't want to see the church shootings. I don't want to see the, I don't want to see the supermarket shootings. I don't want to see that. That's why I moved from America so that I can be free of America. So I can be free of the violence, free of the gunshots, free of all of that. That's what the cost for me is mentally. The cost for me is getting free mentally, knowing that those certifications, you even talked about a certification. I'm like, you know what? I had hair, I had all that. I had, I did hair there. I have CDL there. I had a lot of certifications, but you know what? It is what it is. And I'm not ever planning on going back. So those certifications, they were good for then, moving forward now, they're out the window.
Yeah.
Fresh start. If I want to, those are still trainings that I have that you could still use here. You just may have to do a new kind of, some of those certifications for here. You don't even need it here. You can, I don't know what you have to do, but I could start doing it here today if I wanted to. I can start teaching it today if I wanted to. But my thing is, yes, those certifications were good. But if you're doing a new a new thing, they were good. And it might be something that you could use here.
Yeah.
It might be, but if it's not, it's okay. Because guess what? You're in a new area. This is a new life. Hey, what you did in America, now you're in Rome. As you in, Rome, we do as the Romans do, right? So
Yeah.
I kind of look at that and I go, okay, that was for them. Okay, now
Yeah.
Most High, what is now? Where are you taking me? What do you want me to do? And I'm still waiting on him to tell me, but I think I'm enjoying myself so much that he's like, well, I'll tell you, but are you going to hear you right now? I'm not trying to do nothing right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
but I know eventually I will. But I'm like, I'm really still kind of enjoying myself, and enjoying the move. Really enjoying the move, and I think maybe a little bit too much. But I'm still healing. I'm allowing the Most High to heal the hurt, to heal my heart, to heal Cassie. Because a
Yes.
lot of
Yeah.
damage was done to us in America. And I'm telling you, if you don't take time to heal, you can bring that nonsense right here and walk in that same nonsense, and you'll see the racism if you're looking. And if you're looking for something, you're gonna find it. I don't even look for it anymore. I just live my life. I don't even look for it. Unless it's really out there in my face, I'm like,
Yes.
whatever. And I'm walking forward. I'm moving forward. We did that, been there and done that. I'm not trying to do that right now. I don't care. So it's like, no. Oh, yes, I was, Darlene. That was one of my students right there. That was one of my students who's in the chat. Yeah. When I
Oh,
did teach hair. So yes, I was her teacher. Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, we did. We had some fun. Those were some great days, and I did more than teach here. We had ministry. We did ministry. Everywhere I went, it was about ministry. Everywhere I went,
yeah.
even here, it's still about ministry. That's
It
never going to stop.
is.
That's
It
never
is.
going to stop because that's the way of life. That's who we are. And no matter, even here, it's about ministry, right? It's just
Yeah.
not to the point where I was doing it there. But if it need be, the Most High knows, hey, I'm ready. I'm always going to be ready. So that's never going to be a problem. But right now I'm taking time to heal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you,
Yes.
there's a lot going on in America. And it's still a lot. And I just feel
Yeah.
so sorry for the ones that can't leave, that want to leave. So my prayer is, Most High, you gotta give them something so that they can give them an idea, give them a vision, give them a business. And I'm telling you, when you come in to make this transition, you got to have a business. And a lot of us have gifts that we're not even thinking about. We have a lot of gifts in us that you can actually create and do online. When you just say, I was even talking and walking the other day, and I was talking about some of the businesses that can be created. Like if you clean houses, you can do that from here. How? Because you can create your business, you can set it up before you leave, hire you some people, hire your manager to make sure that those houses are getting clean. You work that thing from here, and your hired help will run that business for you. But you have a manager that you and a manager are going to come together, and you can run that business from here. I'm just saying there are ways to do this, even catering. You cook, you show people how to cook. Okay, like minds come together. You still have your catering service. You're getting the contracts, and you got people there that's set up to do that. You always have a manager that you and the manager are conversating. Okay, the workers don't need to know that you're not there because McDonald's owners are not probably in the U.S. They have managers for that to manage that business, right? And they
Right.
still run that business from anywhere in the country. So I'm just saying there are things in us that we can actually do to be able to transfer, to be able to travel, to be able to get out of America if that is really your sole desire and you're a young parent. Because I know older people, who's retired, you can leave America anytime you want. You have your money that's already there. But the young folk, I'm trying to talk to them to be able to leave. But I'm telling you, spiritually, mentally, it's a big deal. So don't think, oh, it's gonna be all, fun and games, because it's lonely when you have your family and you've left your family.
Yeah.
This gonna be lonely night. So you're gonna think, man, I sure miss my daughter. I sure wish I can call her. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning there. You know what I'm saying? Or it's for like right now. It's right 9:30 in the States. But okay, I can call now. But I'm just saying, if it's 3 in the morning for them, I'm up and about. We doing and we going. And I may think, oh, and then I have to look at the clock. Oh, nope, can't call her now because it's 3 in the morning. It's 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. But I'm telling you, it's a big deal moving abroad. You have something you want to share?
And no, I was just listening to you. Yeah. No, just I'm in agreement with you. It's a lot, and some things you're just not going to know until you get here how you're going to feel. I know a lot of us, especially since some of us more expats are coming together and we have more people coming over here, we're really finding that we all are having the same feelings. We're all experiencing, some are in different stages with it.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's okay to process all of this. It's okay to feel what you feel because this is new. We're Americans. We've never lived anywhere else. I mean, we might have traveled other places and maybe
Right.
lived in different places temporarily.
Right.
I lived in Japan many moons ago for a couple of months, but it's not the same. I knew I was going back home,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, and even in this, some of us have had to go back home who are here for legal reasons. They had to take some legal things, or they have some financial stuff they've got to tie up, and it just requires you be present. And so there's some of us who've had to deal with that, and then making plans to come back. And so what I'm finding is that we're all in these really different places and spaces, and the Father, He's so amazing. He's got it under control.
Yes, he does. I'll
And
comments here. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just
no, it's
interrupt.
fine. It's fine. No, it's totally fine. That's just been, what I've noticed about him is that it's like we've all gotten these instructions, but we're just all on these individual IEPs, like we say in the ABA business, that I used to work in. We're just all on these different plans, but it's all the same goal. And that is to walk in obedience and to love him with our whole heart, mind, and strength. And we just have to let him just be God in our lives and sit on the throne, because each of us has different healing. Each of us has different gifts, and he's got a plan for all those gifts to be used. That's why I can't wait for you to have a couple of people come on and share, because, God is really, really moving in some areas that we like, oh, wow, okay. So he's just really bringing in different aspects of his plan, and it's great to see that, and it blesses my spirit to see him moving in different ways. I just had coffee with another American who's not even in our group, who was introduced through someone in our group, and it's just amazing to see just what I just can't put him into words, because he can't be put into a box, but it's like, oh yes, I forgot, he is God, and he still sits on the throne, and he's doesn't really need our help with a lot of things. So he's got this amazing plan that when we just sit still and just let him do what he's doing, he brings people into our paths. And I can say for me that, he's been bringing different people, from America, and showing me different lenses and how he works. And that's so humbling, because it really keeps us in a humble place and out of pride, and allows us to just let him do what he does best, which is be in control of all of this before time. And he's the Ancient of Days, and we know that we are in this, if I can use the word, sacred time with his people. And so all the things that you and I are talking about America, and yes, we miss our children so terribly. I know for me, there's been a couple of days where I've actually, I've given myself permission to walk the process of grief, and it's okay. It's okay to grieve loss. And the Father knows that. He knows we're grieving, but it's okay, because we're dying to all those things. We're dying to all the things that used to be. And that's painful. Death is painful, but this is the good piece. that Jesus died, but he rose again. So something has to die in order for something new to rise. So we have to let those old things die. We have to let those old mindsets die so that something new can be birthed, because a birthing is happening.
Yes.
We might call it, a second Exodus. We might call it a lot of things, but it's the Father's plan of what he told us was going to happen. And it's not going to return to him void. We just can't put our mouths on it. It looks so different. It's like we just don't know how he's going to gather, who he's going to gather, when he's going to gather, and we just have to let him handle it. He's got it. And so that's that's the other thing about us Americans, is we're so used to being in control.
Yes.
We are. We are. I mean, we come by it honestly. We're not meaning to be harmful, but that we're just taught that way. We're taught to control our lives. And so, we were having a round table of a bunch of us who gathered last week, and someone at the table pointed out something very unique, that we're all in agreement about our country and what is going on. We're all in agreement about that. However, we were called to be Americans for a reason. We were taught a lot of things for a reason. And some of it, yes, must die, but some of it must come with us. And it's a gift even within that.
Yes.
And if I can be so shallow to say, even here in Mauritius, I love our customer service in America.
Oh
I
my
do.
God.
I'm not perfect. We're not perfect, but we got some things right in the customer service department. We have expectation levels, and they're good expectation levels. So when we come here in America, that's a gift. Let's model that expectation. It's just how we model it. How are we going to show grace in a higher level of thinking? Because not every, and I love the way she put it. We let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. In other words,
That's right.
Yes, we've got to die to some things, but we've got some good things about us. And I commented too. I said, you know what? One of the things I've noticed about us is that we as Americans, we've gone through a lot. We're dying to a lot of conditions, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of things. But you know what? When we come here, I can see us. We've got lights. We shine. We have a lot of personality. We're funny. And we have this sense of humor that is very unique to us Americans. And it's good.
Yes.
It's good.
It is. They love
and
it
that's
here.
okay. We get together and we laugh and we're funny. And, we have this way about us that I just don't want us to lose.
No.
It's while we're letting God strip us and clean us out of some things, holding on to those endearing things. And that was one of the things she was saying was that, you know what, we were trained in a land that isn't our own, but it was training. And now we're going into a new land, and we're going to bring those things that he has trained us to do as soldiers.
Yeah. You mentioned the things here, bringing certain things here. And I do believe that we have to be sure and be careful what we're leaving, what we're bringing, because I find it easy here to walk in a leadership position here with a lot of people because they're so laid back, and you feel they're not moving fast enough, and and they're not doing it quite right, or they just have a different way of working, they have a different way of doing things. But sometimes I'll jump in there, and I'm like, and I'm like, okay, hold on, see, back it up a little bit. Let's, kind of, it's okay. I don't have to. I'm on island time. I don't have to rush and do. I can, get it done. It's gonna get done. So for me, it's me just being more conscious and aware of the right stuff that I'm bringing here, and not operating, just making sure that I'm, bringing, just doing what I need to do, and not being so overwhelming for other people. That's so because you can very well take that leadership position and you be telling folks that's on these jobs what to do. You'd be like, I
Yeah.
had somebody come in and do, and do some work here. And I'm telling them what to do. And I'm making
Yeah.
sure you do this because the way they work and the way they do it. And I was like, oh my God, God,
It's
we gotta
it's
do
not
it. We
like
gotta do
us. It's not like
No,
us. No,
I'm telling
no. And that's one of the things that we have a lot, what I'm noticing in our group is we have a lot of strong personalities, a lot
you.
of strong qualities, and that's
Yeah, yeah,
intentional. But one of the
yeah,
things that we are going to have to learn as a group is grace. You
yeah,
know, we
yeah,
have to show
yeah,
grace
yeah,
because and I'm not saying water it down. I'm not saying water our belief systems down as God's people, but
yeah,
model that, model how He
yeah,
has dealt with
yeah,
us through these
yeah,
people.
yeah.
That's intentional. That's intentional. That's not us. That's God. He's like,
Yes, I'm telling you.
let me bring my chosen over here to show them how
Yes,
I do
yes,
things,
yes,
how I
yes,
do things.
yes.
I'm serious and I don't play games, but I also love.
Mhm,
It's both.
mhm,
It's both.
mhm,
And
mhm,
I
mhm,
believe as a culture,
mhm.
um, listening to some of the locals, they do not understand grace. And that's a gift for us to be able to be in that position. And this whole experience is, even if the father said, okay, you're going back tonight, I'm going back as a changed person. This small amount of time that I've been here has already changed me. And I don't know, I might have reverse culture shock if I went back home. Um, but this is a beautiful experience. We're watching prophecy unfold right in front of our eyes.
Yep,
And for me, it's, when we say, what is it going to cost us? It will cost you everything,
that's right.
but only to gain life.
Mhm. Yep, yep. I'm reading some of the comments. Darlene asked, she did ask me when was I coming back, and I told her never.
What'd she
And then
say?
she asked me, asked the question, when was I coming back to the States? And I told her never.
Oh, oh,
And then she said she wants to come visit. Yes, you should come visit. You should come visit. Never seen place like you are talking about. No, Mauritius. You need to look up Mauritius, Africa. It's amazing. And then she talks about me writing a book about moving. And I was telling her, hey, we do consultations, so email me so that we can talk about you moving and even coming to visit. Anytime you're ready, you can come visit anytime. Retirement here is at age 50. You have to make a certain amount, which is 2,000 for a retirement visa, and that's 10 years. Okay, you can do a premium visa, which is 2 years, which you have to make 1,500. But that's a story of another day. But you can also just email me, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you about it and tell you how to make that happen.
yes,
Because it's not
yes.
easy. You got to give up
And
everything. Okay.
yes,
Uh
you
huh.
do. And there are people in our group who, after they've talked with you, that you are able to point them in another direction. The Father is giving everyone a certain skill set to help those who are
Mm-hmm.
called to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it will cost you everything. But what's your
Yeah.
definition of everything?
Right.
And you know,
But he can replace it. That's how I look at it. I said, yes,
yeah,
we left it, but guess what? If you had a house and you sold that house, you can come over here and buy you another and pay cash for it. Okay, pay cash for it and still be debt free. I'm just
yeah.
saying, you got to
If
give
that's
some to
what
get
you
some.
want, if that's what
That's
you
what
want
you
to
want to
do,
do. You can
absolutely,
do all of it. If
absolutely.
you want a car, I choose not to have a car. Some people choose to have a car. If you want a car, you got to pay cash for it. Get your car. You with that money that you just sold that $450,000 house, now the $500,000 house, that you can come over here and buy you an apartment or condo for 130, 200. I'm just saying, you can pay cash for your car. You're still debt free. It's things that you can do here that'll help you for life to be a whole lot easier here. And
Mhm.
then, like I said, start your business up. It's going to cost you, but guess what? You're going to gain in the end because he can
Yeah.
replace all of that stuff. If he really wants you to move and he know a house is the issue for you, man, sell that thing and come on over here and get you something else. If you really want a house like that and get you something very
Yes.
nice on an
Yes.
island, I'm just saying, if that's what you really want to do, you can
If
do
that's
whatever you
what you
want.
really want to do.
If that's
Yeah.
what you want to
Yeah.
do, you don't
But
have to stay in
but
America if you don't want to. It's a
yes.
choice.
And I think also too, and maybe it's just the group that we're into, I think there are those of us in the group that are understanding why we're here. It's really not
Right,
got anything to do with accumulating wealth or
right.
let me get bigger and better. It's more about we have to be prepared. This is training ground for us.
I
So
do believe
being
that.
being
Absolutely.
being stripped and pruned and all of these things and letting the gardener prune and strip the way he
Yeah,
sees fit. And
yeah,
and
yeah.
what might feel painful to you may not feel painful to me, and what I let go of you might be like, oh girl, but the Father knows, each pain that he's pruning, but it's to prepare us for what is coming, like he did Elijah. He told him Elijah was tired, just like us coming from the States. And
Hmm.
instead of the Father berating him and condemning him and shaming him, he said, no, let me feed you. I'm going to feed you cool water. I'm going to bring you food from the ravens. He even used a demonic bird to feed him,
Yeah.
and told him, let's and I could equate that to where we're at. This is not a holy place.
Hmm.
And so, you know, um, I want you to rest and get fed because where you're going is too great for you. And I
Yes.
think
Yes.
about that with his people specifically right now during
Mhm.
this time that we are resting and getting ready for what's next to
Yeah.
come.
And a lot of people don't even know that. And we might even kind of go into details as far as that when one of these shows, just so we can
Yes.
help people that don't know, who maybe haven't heard or maybe don't know. Churches aren't talking about it, pastors aren't talking about it, friends aren't talking about it, or maybe just not in that group and you really don't know what's coming and what's happening. We're going to talk about it to help you to understand that we left for a reason. We didn't just up and leave
Hmm.
because we left because we were commanded to leave. We were,
Yes.
told to
Yes.
leave, so, and we
Yes.
were obedient. And a lot of family members, didn't hear, don't hear, don't want to hear, or
Or
whatever.
have not yet. Yes.
But have
Yeah.
heard, and that's okay too. And they'll come when they hear, hopefully,
Yes.
they'll be
Yes. They
obedient and
will.
do what we did. But we just happen to
Yes.
hear sooner than them. And it's okay because everybody hears at different timing. And some people just don't even know what's coming. We That's a story of another day, and we will
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we just have to be ready for this move, and that's why we doing this show on these Thursdays. And I know we'll get back to, yeah, we'll discuss and see if you like this time better or is 1:30 to 2 o'clock better for you. It's up to you because it doesn't matter to me because I'm retired, so I can come on anytime I get ready. So it doesn't matter to me. We can do. I kind of like that 5 o'clock time. It's okay. I got to do some running, and I came back home because it's almost dark. Of course, I'm not gonna be out there. I don't go anywhere in the dark. I'm just saying I'm at
I
home.
don't
I didn't
either.
do too much
Yeah.
traveling in the dark in the
Yeah.
States, so I'm not gonna do it here. But I kind of like this time here. This works good for me. And it could be a time that we could stick with. And I just want to put us on a schedule, just so we can get that consistency. But I just want you
Yeah.
guys to know that moving abroad is fun, but it's also it's also a lot of lonely, because yeah, you can
Yes.
call your
Yeah.
family, but sometimes you just want to hug them, you want to see them, you want to touch, you want to be, hey, you did a good job, or you just want to spend time with them. But right now
Yes.
we're gonna
Yeah.
get on the little phone and and get on Messenger and WhatsApp, and we're gonna do what we need to do there until time to come back home, or for them to come see you, depending on which way, how are you going to do it. But this is not easy. And I don't want people to
Mhm.
think, oh my God, yes, it's fun. Yes, we look like we're smiling. And, but yeah, we have times where we're like, man, I sure miss my daughter. I sure miss my baby. I sure miss my granddaughter. I mean, because those are babies, and to up and
Yeah.
leave everything and everybody, that's hard, and some people
Yeah.
would come. even now, but they don't because of the simple fact they have kids that don't want to come, and they have grandkids, and they have husbands, they have wives, they have, all moms and dads that they don't want to leave behind. But you want to be obedient. Obedience is better than sacrifice.
Yes,
Last verse.
and he will reward the obedience as well in ways that, we just don't know about. He does bring those rams in the bushes, and he does provide the manna and the quail. He does.
Yes, he does.
He does.
Yep. Yes, he really does. But you have to, sometimes you just have to, just walk through the valley. Sometimes close your eyes and just, praising him and thanking him for, just being obedient and giving you the mindset and the mindset to want to be obedient to him, in spite of what people say, in spite of what your family say, in spite of what your kids say, in spite of what anybody is saying, you were still being obedient to the Most High's voice, and you heard his voice and you were obedient. And some people look at you, and you know how it is. I'm sure when Noah was building that ark and it had rained in 40 years, wasn't it like 40 years or something like that? It had rained, and he building the ark, and he's saying it's gonna rain, and they're looking at him and looking at each other, and they looking at him saying, "There go crazy Noah again. There go crazy Noah."
Right.
But guess what? When that rain was coming, guess what? They was knocking on that boat door, wasn't it? And thank God Noah couldn't open it, because he probably would have opened that door and killed everybody up in there, because then people would have bombarded that boat. So we have to, sometimes it doesn't matter what it looks like. You just have to keep your focus and know that I'm being obedient to what the Most High told me. And they hear, and we're gonna just keep doing what we need to do until they get it. And we are preparing a place. So when they do get it, here you go. And I do believe that he sent ahead to be able to prepare a place for others, and I believe that that's what he's done to the ones that have heard, and they've left and they've come. I do believe that now we're preparing a place for the other ones, and we do have a young lady in Kenya who is preparing a place and who has an Exodus place for the expats to come. We have places here in Mauritius for expats. So if you are interested in moving, like I said, email me and we can work on that and help you out with that if that's something you want to do. Ms. Lorraine, you have any last words or last comments you want to talk about? And also tell them about your foundation again and your website again, your email.
Yes. Last words. Just keep going to God about this if this is resonating with you. And I, not to sound like a broken record, but just seek the Most High with this type of information. And I've gotten to the place where I just tell people, just have a passport just in case, just at minimum, and just so that if you have to leave, you can get on the next plane and get somewhere if you need to. And just go to the Father, sit with him. I don't care who says what. I don't care what you hear on YouTube. Just go to him. Go to him, because at the end of the day, everything at some point will probably shut down, and there will be no more prophetic words. There will be no more prophetic voices. And knowing the word for yourself and having it written in your heart so you can revert back to it during those times of darkness when we have nowhere to turn but God himself. During these times. Right now, we're in this quiet, peaceful spot where he's really allowing people to prepare and get going and getting things taken up and getting all matters at hand. And, there were people who knew before I did. So, I know that there's still more coming, and he's just speaking to everybody and putting their stuff in order and getting people in order. And he's a powerful, powerful Father, and he's got this. He's got a plan. Just trust him. But with that being said, the ministry that he's called me to is gracefulguidanceministries.com. And my main ministry is working with parents of special needs and helping them with whatever they bring to the table. And we talk about that, and I can pray with parents of special needs. And just, if you're that person, and you just want to have a sounding board, maybe you just have some questions, shoot me an email. We can talk about it. I also work with women who are in transitional type situations, whether that be addiction or coming out of abusive relationships. I work with that as well. And I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist in those ways, but it's the ministry piece that God has called me to be a support. And it's birthed out of my own journey. And that's usually how he works anyways, is, you know, he births these ministries out of our own testimonies and the work that he's done in us. It's not meant for us to keep to ourselves. It's meant for us to give away as servants. We are to plant and allow for those gifts to grow and harvest. So, yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Do want to remind people that if you are looking to travel, and I do, and I just want to say one thing. You did mention just preparing. You know, have your passport. Make sure that you have a passport. You may have to go somewhere quickly, and just do your research to see where is a nice place. Where is somewhere like Costa Rica, Panama, Belize, that you can go. Some place that Mexico might be close enough for you. Just do your research to see where can I go and how much it's going to cost me to be able to live there. Okay, because America is the only country that I know that you don't have to have any money and you can come and live there and get help. You don't get that in other countries now. I'm just saying you're going to have money. You're going to have, you know, a certain amount that you're making per month. So just do your research to understand where is that safe place for you. Where is someone that you can go quickly? Have that passport ready. If you don't have one, shame on you. We've been talking about this, and I know you are a follower of mine. You know you should have had your passport years ago. Okay, we talked about even if you think that you're not gonna move, have water, have canned goods, have candles, have, you know, all this stuff. And we may even talk about the emergency stuff, emergency kits. I had emergency food at the house. I had all of that stuff. We had it all, because at first I wasn't talking about moving. I know I was going to do a lot of traveling, but then it's shifted the last year that before retirement, it shifted. And I was like, wow, I bought all this stuff and I thought I was going to be there, and he moved me out. And that stuff is for somebody else. And a lot of time, a lot of people I know bought a lot of stuff. They wasn't planning on moving, but at the last year, he transitioned a lot of, so we bought a lot of food for other people, which is hey, you have it, you know, so if there's a need, it's there. But just get you some water, get you some canned goods. Always, you should never just have enough. You ought to have more than your share of water and canned goods, if nothing else. Can opener to get them canned goods open. You don't need a whole lot of meat, because what if the leche goes down? Then a lot of meat is go sour. So just you know, just this is, I just want you guys to prepare your minds and prepare your hearts for what's coming. It's not going to be pretty. The next 6 months is going to be something. Okay, so it's going to be a roller coaster ride, and next year is going to be a very exciting year. Okay, so just be ready for what's coming, guys. And this, you know, we're not going to get into that now, but we will eventually at one point. But Miss Lorraine, I appreciate you for coming and joining me, and everybody that
Thank you.
we can get together later. I appreciate you guys, or even the ones that's going to come after we're off of the air. Duran, thank you for coming, and my little guy, KIRC3D, thank you for tuning in. Miss Claudia, she usually is here. She's probably sleeping in the States. I think she's in Arizona, so her time is like, her time is early there. So yeah, I do appreciate everybody for tuning in, and we'll do this again. We're gonna get together, me and Miss Lorraine, to see what's a better time for us to do this. We're gonna see if we're gonna stick with this time, or we're gonna, you know, adopt a new time. This might be a good time for us. So we'll see. But I appreciate you guys. So, okay, Miss Lorraine, Miss Claudia is sleeping. Okay, yeah, she's sleeping. I think she worked nights. But yeah, I appreciate you, Miss Lorraine. Thank you so much.
Yes, I appreciate you as well. Yes.
So we're gonna keep it up, and next week, hopefully we'll have two guests besides you.
Yes,
and give us their story. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be good. So you guys stay tuned. Like and share as you come in and go out, okay? And I appreciate you guys for tuning in too, for, you know, spending your time with us. With that said, you're gonna have a great rest of your day. I think your day is starting there in the States. It's 10 a.m. in some places, and 12 a.m. if you're in Arizona. And I think, you know, so yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.
Yes.
And bye for now, you guys. Have a good one.